Welcome to the Big Time Strength Podcast, featuring small school strength coaches making the big time where they're at. I am your host, Coach Rosier. Today's episode is sponsored by TeamBuildr. TeamBuildr provides strength conditioning software to athletics programs around the country. Whether you write your own programs or want access to over 100 templates, TeamBuildr can make your program more efficient, more accountable, and smarter when it comes to measuring your team's effort in the weight room. Visit their website and start a 14-day free trial at teambuildr.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 50 of the Big Time Strength Podcast. Coach Rosier here, and I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know that today is going to be a little bit different of an episode. Just flat out honest with you, life got in the way this week, and kind of wrapping up spring testing and getting stuff out to coaches and some family stuff. I just didn't get a coach lined up for an interview. So going to talk a little bit about stuff we've been doing here at Jewell. And we want to talk a little bit about kind of what you guys do and what we're doing right now as far as evaluating our program at the end of the season. I think it's a really good time to do that. Kind of the process we're going through with that and kind of open it up for you guys, hopefully to reach out to me and I can share with some other guests as well or the audience in future episodes on what you're doing through that process as well. So before we get to that, I just want to remind you of Optimum Nutrition is a supporter and partner on this podcast, And Optimum Nutrition's Optimum Nutrition's athletic program has been the industry standard, leading products that can help athletes perform at the highest level. Protein is key to muscle recovery, and Gold Standard 100% Whey, the world's best-selling whey protein powder, provides 24 grams of protein that mixes easily using just a glass and a spoon. Gold Standard 100% Whey is made in Optimum Nutrition's state-of-the-art facilities in Aurora, Illinois, and is banned substance tested by Informed Choice. Through the program, you can also get pro-graining for big athletes looking to become even bigger and ready to eat protein snacks, including protein crisp bars, cake bites, wafers, and almonds. After dominating the sports nutrition industry for over 30 years, newly created Optimum Nutrition Athletics brings that same trust and quality that knows how to put convenient options for protein in the hands of athletes who desire to become bigger, stronger, and better at their sport. Please email Derek Walters, the director of Optimum Nutrition, at dwalters@gameday.com for more information and to get free samples sent to your facilities for your athletes to sample and provide feedback. Please reach out to them, guys. They're a great sponsor for us. We appreciate them coming on and supporting, and they will send you free stuff, and hopefully you get signed up with their products. All right, guys. So again, life got in the way this week. I don't have a coach to bring to you, so I apologize for that. We will get back on that train next week with Coach Pedersen. But today I want to talk a little bit about kind of evaluating your program. So I think a lot of coaches take this time right now to do some spring cleaning and cleaning stuff up, tighten down the hatches a little bit. And also I think it's a really good time as we have a little bit more free time in theory to kind of reflect back on what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. And something we're doing this year is called a SWOT analysis. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with this is. It's very popular in the business world. And we just did something similar with my family back home. We're a family farm, and my brothers and my father are really good at this type of thinking. And kind of walking through that, I thought, this would be a really good idea for me and my staff to kind of talk through and on where we're at as a program right now, where we can get better. So with our SWOT analysis, that's an SWOT. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I kind of looked through it as strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, and threats on how our ability to deliver the culture and the objectives that we're going for. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. But I kind of want to give, not super detailed, but maybe just a couple examples on some strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, threats that I think we're doing here at William Joe College. And I'll mention this at the end too, but please reach out to me, and I'm interested in this stuff, and I don't know if this is the best way to do it or not. If you got a better way, if you have a format or a template that you use that's been really successful, please reach out to me and that we can share ideas across this platform. So strengths, as far as what we're doing this year, I think we've done a really good job Coach Clifton and I, before he left for his new job in Luther College, I think we did a really good job in being intentional in establishing what our program objectives are, and some of the core values or training principles. It's going to guide our direction in executing those objectives, hopefully, and then also establishing our core values and not just having a core value statement to post on the wall and look super cool, but also attaching like practical behaviors that we can assign to each core value that just we can talk with our athletes about, is like, this is what we want to see that reflects this core value. So, real quickly, our objectives are: number one, to obviously reduce likelihood of injury; number two, produce or improve athletic qualities. I worded it that way because in my view, we're a general prep. We are here to get the athletes better. I don't, I know everybody has different views on this, but some people will say, produce on-field performance and this and this, and 100%. Hopefully, by improving athletic qualities, we are improving on-field performance. In theory, that's how it works. But we've all seen athletes who have gotten bigger, faster, stronger, and all that, and it doesn't translate to the field. And it's our job to find out what does translate and to improve those things, and to make sure that what we are improving does translate. But for that reason, we're sticking to improve athletic qualities. Then third, we're going to support the college and the athletic department in developing student athletes of character, and also to build team camaraderie. And those are our objectives. We want to be very clear. That's our North Star. That's what we're always going for. And then we kind of establish our training principles off of that. As far as training principles goes, I'm not gonna get super detailed on it, but we're gonna move efficient. We're gonna move strong and fast. And condition smart and responsible are the main objectives we're looking for with that, or principles, and we got some sub principles off of that as well. And then what we really took some time, and I think it's important, is defining our culture. And at the bedrock of that culture, is our core values. And with our core values, we went to 3. I used to have 6 or 7, and it was just too much. We wanted to go to 3, so it's very clear, concise, that we know what we want, and our athletes, most importantly, our athletes know what we want. And so with that, number one, we say we want them to be disciplined, and it's not discipline as in an external discipline brought onto them because they are doing something wrong. It's the discipline, it's the internal decision to pursue an outcome that they want and to do the work in the process. And the key behavior, we have 3 behaviors off each value, and I'll just list maybe 1 or 2 off of each one. But our key behavior with discipline is elite athletes and elite people, not just athletics, elite people do the work every day for the outcomes they want, regardless of how they feel. And man, that's such a huge thought and behavior as our athletes head off into summer, that it's so easy when they're on summer break to not do the work and to do whatever else they're doing, and then to show up in bad shape. And we've seen this so much, to show up in bad shape and risk themselves for injury. And then it's much easier to just do that and then complain about not being where we want. And it's much harder to do the work every day, regardless of how you feel. And it's difficult, and that's what makes it the right thing to do, is because it's difficult. All right, so then number 2 is, so it's be disciplined, and then number 2 is be responsible. And we talk about number 1 behavior. We want to have a great attitude and effort, and we also want them to own their actions. What we talk about, what the words come out of your mouth, the actions you have, how you treat people. Those are your choices to make, and you need to own those and not make excuses and not point fingers. Is our key behavior off of being responsible. And then thirdly is to be a teammate. We want to serve each other. We're going to be others focused and not focus on our own needs, and to look outside of ourselves and to serve others. So we're very clear on those values and behaviors, and very clear on communicating to the athletes that this is what we expect, this is what we want. So that's a very long description of one of our strengths are. I think we do a good job. Number 2 off of strengths is, we're running a pretty organized program right now. We kind of have a shotgunning schedule to where it's every 30 minutes we're starting a team, and we've gotten a system to where we're programming a certain way and being able to manipulate the system, the template for each team. But it's been working pretty well to where it's very organized. It's pretty clear on what the flow will be, and I'm lucky to have a great staff to be able to execute it. I think we're doing a good job teach an exercise technique. I think our athletes are executing that pretty well on little details. We're making some strides there. And I think we're doing a good job of improving our basic strength and our primary exercises. Our athletes are getting strong. There's no doubt, strong in those push-pull hinge patterns. We're doing a good job of that. I think those are our main strengths. So there's a few more that I won't get too much into it. All right, so weaknesses. Honestly, I think we have an inconsistent collaboration from team to team. I think some coaches we are more in tune with on their practice schedules and what they're doing, injury rates and that type of thing. We collaborate with more coaches than the others, and there's multiple reasons behind that. And it starts with me. I need to make sure that every team's a priority, and it's not that they're not, but every athlete and every team's practice schedules. I need to get a better idea on what those are, and also communicating with the coaches that. Be honest with you, I think some of our coaches just don't know that I want to know that information, and that's my responsibility to let them know that, and we're on the track to do that. We were very inconsistent with training our in-season teams this spring, and I think that's a weakness of ours, is manipulating that schedule a little bit. It's tough to build around their class schedules, and then if you're in the Midwest, the winter and spring was a nightmare this spring. So with baseball and softball, there's a period where I didn't see softball for 4 weeks, and baseball maybe once a week. And we need to be better at that, and being creative and finding ways to do that. And I think also off of that is make it more a priority and do a better job of training our reserves off those in-season teams, because we are truly a developmental program. For us to compete at William Jewell College, we've got to develop these kids better than our athletes, better than everybody else. And I think we could be better there, 100%. I think we could do a better job of training those in-season teams. I'm being very transparent right now. I hope, being honest, we haven't done a great job in that as well. I think we are, one of our strengths, I think, that I didn't mention is we're more than just strength conditioning. I'm actually trying to rename our department as athletic performance, because I think we're trying to touch base on nutrition and mobility and recovery and some of those things, which is much more athletic development and athletic performance minded. And I think we're doing some of those things, but I think we could be more consistent across all teams, make a nutrition curriculum and education, and then we're diving into some behavior development as well that we talked about through E plus R equals O, the Focus 3 stuff I've talked about on here a little bit, diving in that with our athletes. And just based off our schedules, it's easier for us to talk about with some teams rather than others. So I'd like to be more consistent with that. And then also weaknesses, I think we need to make speed, change of direction, agility work more of a priority. It is a priority, but more of a priority. We just noticed we've got a lot of, going back to our strengths, we're getting strong in our basic movements. But some of those athletes, you put them in a reactive state or an environment and they struggle. They can't move. Man, they're strong as an ox. And it's like, that's not helping them translate that strength to the field. And we're going to have a game plan to attack to make that more of a priority. So those are some of our main weaknesses right now that I really think that we can do a better job of. Opportunities. Honestly, a lot of our opportunities go back to the good part about our weaknesses, is I think there's opportunities to attack those weaknesses. And number one is making change of direction and speed and agility work a priority. And we're just going to basically manipulate our template a little bit in our training sessions it may only be 10 minutes. You may only get 10 minutes of speed work that day, but it's better than zero. And if we can get 10 minutes every single day, we see them, whether it's 3-4 times a week, I think there's going to be good benefit in the long haul on that. So make it a more priority. We're going to manipulate it, warm up a little bit to give us 10 minutes to do that, and get more quality of our warm up than we have currently. Cardinal Edge podcast is something I'm thinking about starting, and this is to address the weakness of getting that nutrition and behavior material out there. And again, because of our schedules, we can't always address those things because there's another team coming in or for whatever reason. So I'm thinking about just starting a podcast just for our athletes, where I record it just basically the same format as this one right here we're doing, and I'll just cover a certain topic a week, Say this week we're talking about breakfast and we're going to talk about discipline. Those are our two main: nutrition topic, a behavior topic, or culture topic. I give a little 10-15 minute spiel on those, and then load that to a place where they can always have access to it. So, got an athlete that comes up wants to talk about losing weight. We've got a podcast on that. It's not that we'll 100% talk to them, but hey, list this and this, and also hey, go check out podcast number 15. It's on losing weight. So anyway, that's an opportunity I think we can do 100% to address maybe some of our challenges with that. And another opportunity is just communicate more with our coaches. We have to make that a priority, and we're going to. So there's some opportunities. Threats. The main threat, this one's a tough one. Main threats I have to us not be able to execute our objectives and uphold our culture is staff. And I'm bringing on a new GA this fall who I'm really excited about. I think she's going to be fantastic and great. So it's not necessarily GA. I've been very, very fortunate to have at least 2 very solid interns with me as long as with my GA. So very consistently had a good quality staff of 3 or 4, especially during busy times during a day, to how we run things for it to work. And I've been very lucky, actually, to be honest with you, for those interns have kind of fallen on my lap. We were in a very good area in Kansas City to where, there's a lot of people are kind of looking, and so that helps us. But the biggest threat for us to not be able to, and I'm sure as you guys as well, not to be able to execute what we want, is if I have a year where I have either an intern that's just not panning out, or we're just not interns at all, it's going to be a struggle. And we're going to have ways to combat that and attack that. And I think we've got a game plan. I've got a game plan in the back of my mind to attack that. But that is certainly our top threat, is our staff, and getting our staff up to date and up to square one on how we want to do things. And I say another threat would be time with our athletes. We see some teams more than others, and as more and more is thrown on these athletes' plate, I just want to make sure that we are still a priority, and we should be, and I think we will be, and 100%. But like there's changing the rule with some of our sports that it's instead of 6-2, it's 4-4 on the 8-hour rule type thing, and I think that's going to affect us a little bit, but we'll have to adjust. There's no doubt. But overall, it shouldn't be a big issue. Those are my big 2 threats right now. I don't, be honest with you, there's going to be challenges. There 100%. There's other challenges, but there hasn't been any challenges that really threaten the way we do things. I take pride in being adaptable. There's equipment threats and there's budget threats, and there's no doubt, but we're going to find a way to execute with most problems. But those 2 big ones I mentioned, those are ones where I can really see us getting in a bind and having to be a little bit more creative off of. So guys, I don't know if this was useful or not. I hope so. This is a SWOT analysis, and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I kind of wanted to talk through it and let you guys know where we're as a program right now, and also open up the door to where if you're doing something similar or you have something completely different, reach out to us. Email us. All of our stuff's in the show notes. Reach out to us, because we're obviously all looking to get better at all times. And I think this is a great time, and I challenge everybody to, all right, take a deep breath as we get ready to go to conferences and those things. Really, you got to have some free time. Just think about what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and where can you get better, and how are you going to attack those things. And I hope to see you guys at the conference this week. I'll be there. If you're coming into Kansas City, I'll be around. Some of you are going to reach out to me and maybe stop by the facility, and looking forward to seeing you. If you see me in the exhibit hall, please reach out to me. Please stop me. I'd love to meet, especially you guys who have listened, constantly love the show. Please let me know, because it does help keep this thing rolling when I do know that it is giving you guys a great resource, and you're learning from it and taking something from it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get back to chasing my 2-year-old son around. He's all on board with the 75-degree weather right now. So we're going to head outside and play a little bit. So, guys, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with a another coach who has a lot better ideas than I do. So, all right, enjoy. If I see the conference this week, awesome. If not, keep killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. We will talk to you guys next week.